Okay, folks, we're here with Valentine Holick, the famous Hall of Famer, baseball pitcher, and he's on the island of Moloka'i in Hawaii. And the title for today's video is The Chosen Champions. That's us. Okay, take it away, Valentine.
There you go. And aloha from Moloka'i here, live in the Hawaiian Islands. And where that came from, just so you know, the title was Many Have Been Called, Few Are Chosen. And I said, this was given to me by a very, very, a spiritual, enlightened soul. Her name was Carey. And I said, I thought about it and I prayed about it. And I go, well, we've all been called. Who's listening? And that's where the champion comes in. Who's listening? Who's listening? I really believe that people are, when we say we have to wake on the planet, Ron, I believe that people are awake on the planet, and they need to come together with people that are like minds in their communities and families all over the planet, and surround it with that golden light, that white light, and to go to people that can help them. Like the people that are awake, then they should go to those people in the communities and families, and like the prayer tent with Hanalei and Jen over here in Moloka'i. They come and they give the shaka, they say hi to you, they wave to you. That's what we need to do. We need to unite in these places that all, I'm from the city, I'm New York, I'm from the metropolitan New York originally, New Jersey, New York, like you, Midland Park. We have to get out of the cities and back into the nature. And I think that we reconnect not only with nature, but the animals. The animals are the primitive, and they have the knowledge and the wisdom. We need to get back to that with the trees, which is our oxygen, what we talked about before going on air, that you're noticing in Florida. We need to get back into our, and the people are getting ill all around the country, Ron, that I spoke with last night. They had to leave the cities, like where I'm from New York, where you're from in Florida, in California, and all around the world with all these pollutants and all. They were so deathly sick, they had to go to New Zealand to recuperate. Now they want to help people in the world from it, because they realized that the planet is ill. I'm telling you, the illness of the planet is from all the pollutants, the toxins, toxicity, and the illnesses are because we have to reverse it and change it now.
The leadership has to change. The people that run the world are malevolent. They are not benevolent beings. That's the problem.
Yes. So why I'm saying the chosen champions, I was approached in Moloka'i by this brother, Kalani, and he goes, he was watching me with the people, because I unite people and with their gifts, and they're smiling and taking pictures with me. Valentine, I got the papayas for you. We're talking papayas like watermelons. They're huge, right? They're strawberry papayas, and that's great for your system, right? Then you got the coconuts, and I want to bring up about the coconuts in a little while. About it's important to have coconut or olive oil, and I'll talk about that in a little bit for the animals. But the coconut is so important for the fatty tissues for our brain. I talked about those with Paul last night, that we need it in our brain, the fatty, in order to prevent illnesses. Just the coconut alone, it's our DNA. If you have coconut juice, it's in our DNA that we're missing. And if we're going to affect the coconut, the Polynesians know, the indigenous people know, the whole planet knows about coconuts. But how important is it? It runs the blood through our veins, our DNA, that coconut water. And then when you open up the coconut, and if you can't do that and go and get that, inside they have the coconut itself, the nut, and all that meat and everything is the fatty tissues that when you go in the store to buy for the coconut, which is going to open up the brain cells and feed your brain, so you have clarity of what you're going to do in each moment of your life. To wake up in the morning, I had to eat this coconut in order to get on air with you. I didn't have time to make breakfast and stuff. I had to feed the animals, and then not only with the coconut, but I found for the animals, Ron, that olive oil, because people will feed their animals, the cat food, and then it's a lot of waste there. And I have like all the animals that will take it with all, but I put in olive oil or any kind of soybean oil if you want canal, but I say olive oil because what it does, it coats their skin and they love it. They go crazy and they'll eat their food. But I have to play cat and mice with this one over here outside, like three or four times to eat its food. I got to put more oil on it. It'll eat it all. And same with the other cats, the three of them. I got 3 psychics. They'll eat the food if it's moist. But if it's dry and they have the wet food on there, they'll just eat the wet food. They won't eat the dry food. And
Fussy.
Yeah, they're smart. Huh?
Fussy eaters.
Yeah, they're fussy eaters. But if you put the oil on it, olive oil, any kind of, well, it coats their, they love it because it's moist. They want to eat something moist. They don't want to eat dry cat food. So that's gonna open up a whole thing around the world right now with cat food. They need something really moist for these animals because they need the cat food that's moist, but they also need the dry food to counterbalance it, because the moist they'll go for and leave all the dry food to the side, and they're wasting it. So I give it all to the animals. The birds come and get it. The peacocks come out. They'll eat anything, but they want to have greens, right? So I send all the papayas out to them, all the seeds. So we got nutritionally, we need to balance things for our brains in order to be more with clarity and understanding about what we need to do on the planet to make a difference now. I tell you, and the other thing that's really is, Ron, is the deer. I prayed about it, and they said, oh, well, just let it the way it is. Well, if you give a gift to the king, and these deer are golden, they're not just regular deer, they're a gift from the king. You would think, or what we call in Hawaiian, just so you know, they'll call it the alihi. Well, the alihi, the people will, like the kings and queens and all, they'll listen to. And the Hawaiians, if you say alihi to them, they're like, whoa, boy, something, you've been on the island. Because the alihi are the ancestors, what I talked about last week, the ancestor visionaries. They listen to them. That's what we need to do. We're not listening. We're not listening because look what's created on the planet, because we're not listening. Look at all the disasters and everything. We're not listening. Something's out of balance.
Well, not only aren't we listening, we're being fed a lot of disinformation, and the people that are creating a lot of the storms and directing them and stuff,
yes.
Again, they're malicious beings.
Yes.
And
so what I'm saying, yes. So I'm trying to get away, we have to get away from them and create our own heaven on earth, like what you talk about. We need to go within our families and communities and speak out like what you're doing, Ron. It's such a blessing that you're getting the message out where mankind, it's like a university here. Either they got karma and they got stuff to work through and they don't want to do it, or they're mad at God. Well, I think that the Creator is really upset that we came on vacation here and we have something to work out in the university and we're not willing to work it out. So we keep, like pushing and going, oh, we got to do it. Now it's my will. Well, what's your will? We have to relax and get quiet and try and help one another. We really do. We have to reach out. Like when I said with the papayas and stuff, I'm there in the community, and I got my driver's license, renewed in Hawaii. I had to take over from California years back. I had to go through this whole thing to get the driver's test is unbelievable. What you have to go through, and I aced it. Now I have a driver for 8 years, and then just renew it. But because I was working on a Parkinson's case in Maui, I missed one day, and California says to me, oh, you got to take the test over. You got to do it all over, like when you were in high school into college. And that was quite an ordeal to get my license back. But Hawaiian license. I'm in the Hawaiian Islands for 28 years going on. And then they have a Hawaiian license out of California one. Then I let it go because I get driven around the country by faith. I'm in limousines. I'm in from Chevy. It doesn't matter what kind of vehicle, whatever. I don't care if it's a tractor. You know what I mean? I'm among the people, you know, and to touch people's lives. So getting back to this with the prayer tent, I go in, get my license, and when you create that energy and it's flowing, you know, it's a river of life is flowing, everybody comes to you. You don't have to do anything. If you're in the flow of life, everything comes to you. I got the papaya. The guy's across the street getting gasoline to go back home. Hey, Valentine, yells across. This is in, you know, Tavika, you know, Toggin. That's how the message. Hey, I got your message last night. I'm coming right over. I got your papayas for you. And he gave me a box, you know, like cantaloupes, papayas, strawberry. Now, there's all different types, but strawberry. And that's what we need for the enzymes in our system to clear the toxins out. The enzymes of papaya are the greatest thing. You don't have to buy all this other, people will try to sell you this and this for you. Papaya, you could get dry papaya, and they were way ahead of their time. These pioneers in Maui said, Valentine, you got the dried papaya. You know, you can, but the best is to get fresh papaya and coconut. I'll tell you, if you get coconut water for your DNA, if you get the inside of the coconut, I'll tell you, you'll start waking up and get a lot clearer about things. And your system, your mind, you won't go over and over and over things. You'll get really clear about your brain is once that fatty material, what they call it, that from the coconut. And that's why we need to really protect the trees, what we talked about before going on air. And that's why Moloka'i doesn't want to bring anything in, and I don't blame them. They have to be very protective who they bring in or speak up. You know, the elders are going, hey, Valentine, you're in a position where you could change things here. We're really, like, they're frightened of you. That you can, we don't want change. And I want to talk about that too, about change. It's important that we have to move through the change in a good way, in a balanced way. You got to make some changes, because it's not going to, everything changes on a daily basis, from the weather to the sun, the moon. There's all these changes astrologically going on in the universe. Well, we ourselves are not willing to change, and I think that's what's the imbalance, Brian.
Yeah, a lot of people are not only not willing to change, they don't even realize what to change to, because we've been so programmed as to a monetary reality that we don't understand a reality that doesn't need an artificial currency, if you will, that we have the currency of nature.
Yes. Yeah, well, this is what I say for comic relief. I'll tell you. Well, no, I was going to do this, and this came to mind. In Washington, we have what we call, all our presidents are dead. So we're fighting after dead presidents. When I'm in Europe, in Denmark and Sweden, they have their kings and queens, they're alive. Their currency, you see, they're present, they're alive. So our currency in the United States, they're all dead. So when I got to Woodstock in '94, the 25th anniversary, Love 22, all our presidents are dead. We're fighting after dead presidents. So we're better off with barter and trade. But the system, and I'll tell you what, if we have a machine, just like Washington, I'll just give you an example, and a currency, what they make in one day on a machine, you couldn't even work your whole lifetime. They could print out what they want. So we should have our own machines from all different countries and print all our money out, just like Washington, because we're enslaved to dead presidents here in the United States. That's what it is.
Well, into a fiat system.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so why don't we set up the machines and show them? I wanted to do a whole comedy on this. You know, comics would grab this material, you know, Jim Carey, because I was with him up in Honda, and him in Stitches. I have comics in Stitches that are very established. Eddie Murphy is another one in New York who wanted me to put me in the movie Nutty Professor. He goes, for you, special project. When I was with him in New York, he flipped out. He's with his bodyguard. This was so funny, and I told him in the future we work with him. He's there. The guy goes, Eddie Murphy's right next to you. I said, now will you stop it? I'm telling you, he's here to get his cousin and all, Valentine, and you're in the movie. You want to get into the movies and stuff. Murphy's right behind you. So I walk outside, Studio 54. I laugh because I look at the humor of it all. He's in a Mercedes in the driver's seat. The bodyguard, like Mr. T, is in the passenger seat. And I'm cracking up. And then he has this white woman saying to him, she, you know, and I'm right. I just come right next to him. I'm the second one, right? This white woman's, hey, Eddie, let's just have one night together. He goes, no, I can't do. Come on, let's just do one night together, Eddie. No, thanks. And she wouldn't stop. So when she finally realized that he wasn't going, he was very tired. And he's not is what he's appeared on camera. He's a very serious guy. But when I got to him and I reached out to him, and I said, my name is Tom Holick. You know, I even mentioned the Valentine at the time. And the presence was, once I reached my hand out and he touched me, you know, we touched, you know, the human touch. He felt this energy radiate and go through him. And I go, my name is, I want to introduce myself to you now because I'll be working with you in the future. My name is Tom Holick, Valentine, right? And he goes, he turns on like this. 3 times. Who are you? How do I know you? Where do I know you from? And he went into this whole comedy thing. And, you know, I mean, serious. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. And he looks at me. And then he asked me where I've worked before. I wouldn't answer him. I was just in the presence. I would just look at him. And he was, the more I wouldn't tell him what I did, the worse off he wanted to connect with me. You know? Instead of saying, oh, I worked here and I did this, I was just in the presence with him. And then with the presence, he goes to me, he goes, I'm working on ICM, which is International Creative Management, one of the largest. Robin Williams and all, the manager called me from the place with Murphy, right? So Murphy goes to me, I want you to contact Shelley Schultz because he saw the connection, what happened. You know, that there was something he was working on, the way I approached him, it was in the flow, and he felt this spiritual connection together. When I told him, I said, I want to introduce myself to you now because I'll be working with you in the future. Well, you're talking to somebody in the public eye that you know, what do you mean be working in the future? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? But see, I was sent to him for other reasons, personally, to help him out, but he realized that. You know, he thought it was about the movie about Nutty Professor. You know what I mean?
Oh, was he one of the chosen champions?
Well, he was one of the chosen champions, but then you know, when he he was one of the chosen champions at the time. When they start out and everything's good, then the greed comes in. Because I know people on the property. I actually spoke to his mom on the phone, you know, in New Jersey, and you know, I won't say the town, whatever, where he's at, in outside of New York and New Jersey. It's a private for him. So, but I called the house, and he says, well, Eddie's not here right now. I said, well, tell him that Valentine called. You know, I told him, oh, she was so sweet and so nice. And I had his direct number to him, but I didn't want to. But I met with him because someone said to me, "You and Murphy would be great in comedy together because what he does, you do naturally. He has to put it on. So you'd be a great team together, do a movie, and reach people around the planet." I'm serious. And when he felt the connection, he wanted to know who I was. It was the presence of where I came out of the wilderness and all, and he felt the spiritual connection. And that's what I'm saying, whether it's Eddie Murphy, whether Jim Carrey, the same thing. Jim Carrey, I didn't know who Jim Carrey was. I was in Maui up at Red Sands Beach. And
he's a very serious guy. I just happened to have watched a video with Jim Carrey earlier today.
You did?
I did.
So, you know, and Jim, I'm doing a whole thing on the beach. He's jumping up and down in the water, seeing, because as a comic, he sees what I'm doing up, you know, on the wall, on the rocks. The woman takes off her bra. You know, you could be natural if you want, naked, or you could wear a suit. Well, because they're, you know, this is hidden out up in Red Sands Beach, and he'll know what I'm talking about. You know, if he gets to, and also this woman, they're in the public eye. They don't want to have pictures and stuff. So there's a blue electric top, right? And I see this top, and it's going to travel out to the ocean. It's on the rocks where it was really close because they wanted to be private. Well, my friends that were the doctors were with Jim Carrey, wanted to introduce me. Well, I didn't have to be introduced. Jim Carrey recognized I'm looking every angle of that blue electric top, the bra, what you say for the woman, right? It's not the bra, it was the bathing suit top. And it was a big one, very busted one, you know, it was full. And I didn't want the couple, I didn't know it was Jim Carrey. And I didn't know this couple that was visiting, I didn't want their top to float out while they were, you know, in the water playing together. Well, while he's playing together, he sees what I'm doing. I'm looking at every angle. He's cracking up and he's jumping up and down. I thought he was a homo. You know, when I say homo, what do you call it? Gay. I thought the guy was gay, trying to call me in the water or something. But it was with this one. But he was seeing the excitement, the passion of what I was doing was comical. That I'm watching over this top while he's having fun with this woman. He sees this, and he jumping up and down like this, waving me in to come in and join them. And I go, man, you're a couple, though. Why don't you just enjoy yourself? And then I find out it's Jim Carrey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people said to me, I want to introduce you to Jim Carrey. I said, well, Jim, that was Jim. He was trying to engage with you because he saw what I was doing in the moment. You know, I was protecting the woman's top, not to go, because the water comes in and out. She had it really close to the rocks where it's fresh water and salt water, and it's going to go. And so if she came out of the water, the top would have been gone. And he realized that I was protecting the bra, you know, the bathing suit. And he thought it was the funniest thing. You know, as a comic, they see things like that. And they use that material for, even Murphy, for example, he'll pay you if he sees something in the elevator he uses in the movie.
Please give me a call.
Right?
Get this message. I left the
Is this up there?
So call me back. Bye.
I have the phones both disconnected and I'm getting a message. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know either. But getting back to this, but I'm going to get back to it because, yeah, I know. I don't know how that works. He was doing that before the taping. I'm going, who does Rob have in the room? You know, with that. But anyway, getting back to when I was in Red Sands Beach in Hana. Now, it's about 2.5, 3 hours from in town. It's a 3-hour thing. You got to stay up there or it's a whole day excursion for you, right? And there's about maybe 40 waterfalls turns before you get to Hana, right? And that's where Oprah bought this property. I won't go into it, whatever. And you know, that's supposed to be pristine to help the people, not to build and not give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? Not for yourself, but to give to humanity. You know, you've been given so much. So if you bought the pristine land over there, then do something to help the people. You know, I don't want, you know, I want to bring that up. But anyway, getting back to it, and I know Jim wanted to speak. I felt that this man I was supposed to speak with, and the couple, there was a doctor and they were holistic and medical. One did holistic and said, Valentine, oh, we wanted to introduce you to Jim Carrey. I said, well, I already was introduced to him. He was calling me in the water. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's very interesting. Yeah, he's very, very spiritually tuned in. And then I met the people that know Jim Carrey and said they're fifth generation astrologers that do personal work for him where I live in Haiku. And if they find out whatever, Jim can contact me if he needs to, whatever, because spiritually we were on the path. That's why we were to meet. And if we could help humanity and Jim could help in some way, I felt that then there's a reason why we met. Same with Eddie Murphy. I was told in the future that you and Murphy have something to do. And then his management called me when I was with Tiny Tim. I was doing something with Tiny Tim. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Yeah, Tiny Tim, right? But getting back to Murphy, his international creative management, which you got to be really established, like on a level of Carey or Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, you know, established to get an offer to go into a movie like that, these are the top people in the world are calling me that Murphy's management, and he goes, Shelley Schultz.
But you have about 5 more minutes, and I'd like to wrap it up. So just so you know.
Well, getting back to it. So anyway, who's the other person I was talking about that I said I would get back to? Who's the?
Oh Lord! With the distraction of that telephone call, it sort of knocked me out of my.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had that handled, and I don't want to waste time rehashing it again. But I can't help you right now. So.
Okay, that's fine. But anyway, getting back to it. So we got Jim Carrey. People like this, and I mentioned about, I want to bring up about Dr. Oz also, because Dr. Oz has a lot of dark stuff, not him per se. He's being under attack because he wants to bring good things into the world. You know, I believe like he has to put and they showed me a vision of it, and he could contact me, and that's why I was to speak with him. It's like, because we have a picture together that touched the world, you know, like a mask. He has to breathe in all this darkness around him and take this mask off and lay down and get away from it all, because he's under attack all the time because he's trying to do good things in the world. Dr. Oz. I'm sure, right. And I'm going to say this with Oprah too. I think Oprah did wonderful things in the world, and she got tired of all the darkness. She got involved somehow, owed a lot of money or something, and went another direction. You know what I'm saying? And we need people like this still to come together to help Mother Earth, you know, help the school systems, not only just in Africa, how about in the United States and all over the planet? You know what I'm saying? You know, you have a school for kids and all in Africa, you made the money in the US, and you're not doing anything to help the planet, just Africa now. When you made everything here in the United States, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you work here, why don't you give back to the US? You know,
well, the U.S. to me is the most problematic country on earth.
Yeah,
we wage war all over the planet, never declaring it.
Yeah, and Oprah did bring that out in the show, what you said, like 52 wars she showed, and she was real quiet about it. So I'm not speaking. We have to unite people together. Hopefully, bring this golden angel back. You know what I'm saying? And I hope she listens to this. You know, she did bring it out, and she was very silent about it. So why does America is so hated around the world, and
rightly so.
Yeah, and it's these criminals, like you said, these dark forces that are representing. That's not who we are. The light of God. You know, the light of the universe. We're being blamed in the U.S. when the good people. That's what I want to talk about. The goodness of the people that are doing good things are having, you know, a difficult time to be able to have a voice like what we're doing, sharing today. You know, we need to come together as champions to help. The chosen champions need to come out like the Athens of Greece. We need to go and get to that chalice, you know, and unite together. We need to do that.
I'm totally in agreement about the uniting together. Somehow that has to be able to happen.
Yes. And I tell you, I think if more voices come forward and they start working on their not only these people are very aware of the answer. I was just with the Hopis. The Hopis came to me. 8 healers came to me in Moloka'i, Valentine. They have this laughter and this energy from Texas. They're from Texas. And from San Diego, this whole troop comes in. They said, we were supposed to be in Kauai, but we're here with you now because, because we're united in Moloka'i. It's like the center of light here, and they're very careful who they bring in because of the non-pollution. They don't want it here, and I don't blame them. We need protectors and bearers of light here to help the world from Moloka'i. In all parts of the world, the Hawaiian Islands.
Yes, indeed.
Angeles, we need from all parts of the planet to reach the planet now. I mean, it's a red light. It's a red light. When I say an urgency, you know, when you say it's like life and death. That's where we're at right now. Either we're going to go in one direction to balance it, or we're going to go another, and it's going to replenish itself, the planet, if we're going to destroy it. You know what I mean? And we will.
Yeah, the planet will survive. Humanity is another question.
Yes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you very much. We are the chosen champions that want to be.
Yes.
It's time that we step into that role, and hopefully some of these people that you named in your video will step up even more. Oprah and Jim Carey and Dr. Oz and the others. Eddie Murphy, yeah. So thank you very much, and look forward to our next video, and we'll get this one up for tomorrow's video. So thank you.
Is that right? Okay.
Okay,
great. We send our rainbows here from Moloka'i and our happiness of golden light to all the people on the planet to smile and to get the joy back in their inner self, the happiness, inner happiness, joy, and spread around the world and all the universes that we come together.
Right. Aloha, my friend.
Aloha, Brian.